Did you know in 2014, in the United States alone, 9,967 people were killed in alcohol-impaired driving crashes? Imagine, in this statistic sourced by the CDC, not all of those victims were even the intoxicated ones. Drinking and driving is a dangerous problem we have today. While incidents have declined in recent years, it is still a major problem. Even more so among underage teens and young adults, where most of the casualties come from. There are many programs and campaigns out there to reduce the occurrence of drunk driving. Drunk driving is an all too common occurrence. Every 2 minutes, a person is injured in a drunk driving crash, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Blood alcohol level, or BAC, is a measurement by which medical staff and law enforcement can determine how drunk you are. If it is at 0.08% or higher, you are legally considered drunk and can be arrested for driving under the influence. First-time offenders can have their license suspended for 180 days to a year. They can be fined $500 to $2,000 and even jailed for up to 6 months. Multiple-time offenders, of course, receive even harsher consequences. A quarter of DUI arrests are multiple-time offenders. The significance of this is that going through the consequences the first time were still not enough to deter you a second or third time. That's an alarming statistic. The 0.08% blood alcohol limit is a national law. The details of these laws vary depending on the state and what they decide to enforce or punish. The laws do differ for underage drinkers. For example, in Florida, if you are under 21, you are legally considered drunk if your blood alcohol level is at 0.02%, and you will be charged with a DUI. The zero tolerance law still applies nationwide. That means no matter how much or how little alcohol you have in your system, you are still to be charged with a criminal DUI. Even one glass of wine with dinner can affect that. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, in their report, Crime in the United States 2014, an average drunk driver has driven under the influence at least 80 times before their first arrest. We must, of course, take this into context. This statistic is taken, assumedly, out of multiple age groups and in different demographics and geographics. This number still stands out as a call to law enforcement and other parties. How can we lower it? How can we teach people there are severe consequences to drinking and driving? This number just makes it sound as if people are all too comfortable drinking and then getting behind the wheel, not thinking of the danger they're putting themselves and those around them in. The accident and casualty rates for young people are even higher. It is even more common to have underage drinkers involved in drunk driving incidents. It is the most common cause for teen deaths. 54% of high school aged teens drink and drive according to the CDC. 10% of drivers under 21 account for 17% of DUI fatalities. Underage drinkers are more reckless as they are less experienced. They are more likely to cause or be in fatal accidents. Young adults and teens rarely wear seatbelts as well. Blood alcohol levels can rise faster due to their low tolerance and their still growing and developing bodies. Teens are more likely to binge drink as well, which is defined as having 5 or more drinks in 1 hour. Think about it. You're at a party after the big game. Everyone around you is doing it, and you just want to have a good time. So the drinks just keep coming. This kind of consumption will elevate blood alcohol levels much faster, and teens can succumb to alcohol poisoning quicker as well, which is a whole other issue in our society today. In Florida, if you are under 21 and charged with a DUI, you will be fined or sentenced to jail time. A first offense gets your license suspended for 6 months. You are fined $1,000 to $2,000, and jail time is subject to the judge deciding, but not out of the question. A second offense will suspend your license for 6 months to a year. You can be fined $1,000 to $4,000 and receive 10 days up to a year in jail, depending on your blood alcohol levels. So what are people doing about this? There are many programs today aimed towards reducing drinking and driving occurrences. It poses a threat to our society and people's safety, not to mention the financial impact and expense for governments and cities to fix roads after accidents, to make the streets safer, for money put towards campaigns against drinking under the influence, not to mention the prison and jail expenses and the space used for DUIs. Many of the programs in place to hinder drinking and driving are aimed towards that target market of those under 21. This strategy seems to be to cut the problem before it becomes a habit, before kids think it's okay and they get comfortable drinking under the influence. Laws such as zero tolerance laws, which again makes it illegal for anybody under 21 to be drinking and driving, has helped in recent years. As 1/3 of DUI arrests are repeat offenders, there are methods to try and control that as well, such as ignition interlocks. An ignition interlock is installed in the car and used as a breathalyzer, measuring the driver's breath. If the driver's blood alcohol level is above a certain level, usually 0.02%, the car will not start. Many in-school, community, or government-wide campaigns preach how important it is to never drink and drive. Never get in a car where somebody has been drinking. These types of programs and advertisements usually stress that there are other ways to get home safely, and there are no ads and campaigns against drunk driving you see are actually from beer or alcohol producing companies or the car companies themselves. Brands like Volkswagen have created their own ads against drinking and driving. In this first one you can see, it says, if your Volkswagen logo looks like this, please don't drive, and showing their logo messed up, illustrating how your eyesight and judgment is impaired while you're under the influence. The second one says, just one for the road, and shows 4 pedals, again instilling how your judgment is impaired. That does say, please drink responsibly on the bottom with the Volkswagen logo.